If you've ever designed a course from scratch, you'll know just how much work goes into it. Mapping out objectives, structuring lessons, creating assignments, and making sure that everything flows in a way that actually helps students learn. Now, imagine having a tool that can help with that process, not by doing it for you, but by giving you a head start, sparking ideas and freeing up your time to focus on what really matters, which is teaching. That's where AI comes in. We've all heard about AI's potential in education, the what and the why, but we don't talk enough about the how. How do we actually use AI to build something meaningful? How do we take it beyond theory and put it into action? I'm Chris Hickman, and today, instead of just discussing AI in nursing education, we're going to use it. We'll build an entire undergraduate course, which we're going to call Fundamentals of Nursing, step by step. By the end of the session, you'll see exactly how AI can help us structure course content, develop learning objectives, create assignments, and design rubrics, all while ensuring AI enhances rather than replaces the role of educators. So let's dive in and start building. But before we jump into the demo, let's talk about why this matters. Nursing education is evolving rapidly, and so are the tools available to us. AI isn't just some futuristic concept, it's already here and it's changing the way we create, deliver, and assess nursing education. With AI, we can generate personalized learning experiences, automate time-consuming tasks, and develop data-driven insights that improve student outcomes. But the key is knowing how to use these tools effectively. That's what today's session is all about. We're not just brainstorming, we're going to build an actual course step by step. And so here's what we'll cover. We're going to create course title and description. We're going to generate learning objectives. We're going to create 5 modules for the course. We're going to use AI to discover readings and videos, supplemental content, presentations that form the content of the course from freely available scholarly resources. Any assignments and rubrics we may need. And then finally, we're going to have it generate a topical outline and a course schedule based on the university's calendar. So now that you know what's ahead, let's get started with the first step, which is building our course foundation. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch from the presentation over into Microsoft Copilot. So I brought up my browser. I went to copilot.microsoft.com. And so you can see I'm in the Copilot interface. And down here at the bottom is my chat screen. This is where I type in my prompts. Now remember, prompts are ways that you can ask AI to respond to a question or a scenario that you might have. So the process that I'm going to go through in this demo is we're going to step through the process of creating a course. And this is not unlike the courses that I've created in the past. We're just going to use AI as our really smart assistant. So the first step we're going to do is we are going to generate the course title and description. But we already know what our course title is. We're going to call this Fundamentals of Nursing. We just don't have a description yet. So typically we'll need the title, the description, and any objectives to have the course approved. So we can have AI create those for us. So rather than me typing these prompts out, I'm going to copy paste these from a document that contains all of the prompts that I'm going to use in the session. I'll share this out with you along with the video. So first of all, we have the course called Fundamentals of Nursing Education. So we're going to ask the AI, act as a professional nursing educator. We're creating a course entitled Fundamentals of Nursing, which will be taught as an undergraduate course. Provide a detailed course description and 5 objectives that will be used for this class. And so you can add more context, more information, more requirements to help drive the course content and the 5 objectives if necessary. But right now what we're going to do is just have the AI generate what it thinks the fundamentals of nursing should be about and contain. So I'm going to send this to the AI. And so it says, sure, I'd be happy to help with that. So there's our course description. And I'm not going to read through this. You feel free to pause the video if you'd like to read through the description and the objectives. But it's given us exactly what we've asked. So the course objectives here: understand the role of the nurse, Develop foundational skills, foundational nursing skills. Apply ethical and legal practices. Enhance critical thinking and clinical judgment. And promote patient-centered care. Okay, that's great. So the one thing I wanted to add in here is that's fine, but I wanted to add in more information about simulations, because we want to make sure that our students know that there will be simulations throughout this course, and we want to be able to use those. So I'm going to put in a prompt here. Let's include language on the exposure to state-of-the-art simulations within the School of Nursing. So I'll send that, and Copilot will rewrite the description to include information on simulations. So if we scan through, you'll see here towards the bottom of the course description, we'll have the opportunity to engage with state-of-the-art simulations within the School of Nursing, allowing them to practice and refine their skills in a controlled, realistic environment. And then it looks like it's also added in another objective on the simulations. So you can then go in and manipulate these, change the wording, change the subject, completely rewrite them if that's what works for you. But remember, this is just a guide. It's a way to get started. So now that we have our title, we have our course description, and we have our course objectives, now we can use those to build our modules. So I've got a prompt here that we can use, and it's rather long, so I'll read this prompt to you so you see what it's doing. Now that we have our course title and objectives, let's create the learning modules. We're targeting 5 modules that will thoroughly cover the objectives that have been defined. Each module will include a title, a purpose, objectives, readings, videos, presentations, and any supplemental materials that may help drive the students learn the content. We will start with an overview of the 5 modules. Generate a module title, overview that introduces the students to the purpose of the module, and then objectives for all 5 modules. So we'll send that through. And of course you can manipulate that prompt if you like. But you can see that it's now given me Module 1, Introduction, and let me scroll back up here. Introduction to Nursing and Healthcare Systems. There's our overview, and there's our objectives for this specific module. Now, remember, we haven't gone through assignments or any readings or anything like that. We just ask it for overview and objectives for each module. Foundational nursing skills, overview and objectives, ethical and legal principles in nursing, critical thinking and clinical judgment, and patient-centered care and cultural competence. So those are our 5 modules with overviews and objectives. So now we can move on to readings, because with each of these now we have an overview. We can expand this out, we can add more information, we can include whatever you'd like to include, because remember, this is just a start. This is a way to set up the framework. So now we're going to step through the readings, videos, presentations, and supplemental content, starting with the readings. For each module, suggest 3 to 5 readings from freely available scholarly articles for the objectives described in each model. The reading should be readily available in a university library or available online at the website for scholarly works. So if I send that through, for each module, it's going to give me 3 to 5 readings that we can include. So you can either use this for your course, or you can use it to enhance your course. You can add more perspective. So whatever makes sense to the course you're developing. So you can see with each of these, it's given me readings on Module 1, Historical Perspectives on Expanding Role for Nursing by Dr. Keeling, and it gives us a link. You can click on the link and it'll open up the article so you can see what it's referencing. So as we move through, you can see that you have readings and you have links for each one, so you can go through and validate each of these. So now let's move on to videos. So with the videos, we just want to use YouTube videos. So what we're going to ask the AI, for each module, suggest 3 to 5 videos from YouTube from reputable sources that help better describe the objectives for each module. Now, you can change this. I wanted to make sure we put reputable sources in there so that we look at the most popular videos or things that aren't going to be random YouTubers that doesn't have the correct information. They're just trying to be influencers. We want to make sure that these are reputable sources. You can add more information if you want to make it more pointed. So if we want to specifically target neonatal nursing or geriatric nursing or more specific items, you can add more context to this prompt. But I'm going to send this through. And similar to what we got for the readings, we're going to get a listing of videos for each module that we can use. But as you look through, and I'm going to just let this print because it's going to bounce my screen around a little. Historical evolution of nursing. And then the link for that, you can see that it's a YouTube video. So each of these should be a YouTube video, including, scroll back up here, Healthcare Systems Overview by Khan Academy, and that's also on YouTube. So for each of the modules, we now have videos that we could use. So let's move on to presentations. If you wanted to try to discover presentations, we'll do this similarly to how we did the videos and the readings. 3 to 5 presentations, either PowerPoint or PDF format for reputable sources, from reputable sources that address the objectives in each module. And so now it'll search, and again, it'll give you a listing of the presentations with a link to the presentation. So it starts off here, The Evolution of Nursing, which is a PPT that's hosted on SlideShare, History and Evolution of Nursing. So there's a lot of information here that you can use along with links. The last one that I typically do is supplemental content. Is there any extra content that you'd like to include that would help the students learn the content for each module? For each module, we have an opportunity to provide supplemental content that would help fill any gaps or provide additional knowledge for the module objectives. Suggest any necessary supplemental content from reputable sources that help better describe the objectives for each module. You can also focus specific sources. So if you wanted to look at different journals or specific websites or academic sites, you're welcome to specifically name those, and the AI will target those sites. But in this case, I'll send this through for supplemental content, and it will come up again with a listing of all the modules with the supplemental content. It could take really any form. So we have the evolution and history of nursing profession, and let me scroll back up, by Maryville Nursing. So likely this is a website. Yeah, there's maryville.edu. If you click on that, it's going to open that, and that's supplemental content that helps drive home the concepts that you're trying to teach in this module. So this is just extra reading. All right, module 2, 3, and that listed only 2 supplemental content items, 4 and 5. So you could use those, or you could go back and manipulate the prompt so that you can ask it for more information, for less information, for more pointed information. It just depends on how you manipulate that prompt. Okay. So now that we've generated what the module looks like, you could continue adding more pages to the modules, more pointed data, more elements that help drive home your content. But in this case, I have a page that would give me the information that I need to meet the objectives of the course. So now what I want to do is move into assignment creation. So what I can do is use a new prompt that says, now that we've defined each module with its overview, objectives, readings, presentations, videos, and supplemental content, let's now define an assignment for each module. Suggest an assignment that will help the students dive into the content. Take into account the students will be using artificial intelligence, so critical thinking and reflective assignments may be necessary. Recommend an assignment for each module. So here we're looking to the future at the way that students are learning and working through their coursework, and we're identifying that they are technological users. They have the option of using AI in their schoolwork. We want to embrace that. So that's why we added that into the prompt. So for each module, let's have it generate a suggestion for an assignment for each module. So it says, absolutely, here's some suggested assignments. So for the first one here, and I'm not going to read through all of these, scroll back up. The assignment here is Introduction to Nursing and Healthcare Systems. The assignment is a reflective essay on the evolution of nursing. Students will write a reflective essay on the evolution of nursing, focusing on how historical events and key figures have shaped the nursing profession. They will use AI tools to research and gather information on the history of nursing, and then reflect on how these historical developments influence modern nursing practice. The essay should include personal insights and connections to the student's own experiences or aspirations in nursing. Now, that last sentence is important because that's something that an AI cannot reproduce. An AI cannot reproduce personal insights and connections and experiences in nursing. That's where the student would have to do the writing. So as you're grading these assignments, you can use that reflection and those connections to help identify that the student actually wrote these assignments. So, and I'm not going to read through the rest of them. Feel free to pause the video as I'm scrolling through here if you'd like to see how it generates these different assignments. And so that's the assignment creation. So now let's refine the assignments a bit more. And so I've got another prompt I'll give you. For each module, let's create the actual assignment. So now we have what the assignment is and what it's centered on. Provide an assignment title, purpose, instructions, and submission requirements. For research papers, the page limit is 5, excluding references. Must follow APA 7th edition guidelines, and references must be less than 10 years old with a minimum of 5 references per paper. So you can manipulate those as required for what you're trying to accomplish. For any non-research paper assignments, provide a series of general submission requirements to facilitate a stronger experience for the students. And so I'll send that. And so now for each of the assignments that we've identified for the modules, it's going to fully build these out and give us something that we can use. And so like on module 1 where we talked about, where we read through the assignment title, and this is going to jump in a moment. Let's scroll back up. So in module 1, the assignment title is a reflective essay on the evolution of nursing. The purpose is to explore the historical development of the nursing profession and reflect on its impact on modern nursing practice. And then it gives us the instructions: research, write, reflect, and ensure with submission requirements. And so we could further build out this assignment or add it into Canvas and manipulate it and continue working with the rest of our assignments. There's module 2, 3, 4, 5. So everything is there. And you'll notice that with each of these assignments, it's not asking for research papers every time. The first one is a reflective essay. The second one is a simulation-based skills assessment. So we may have to work with the sim lab to develop the simulation, but it allows the students to practice and assess foundational nursing skills in a controlled simulated environment. And there's the instructions, and then what is the submission requirements? This is another reflective report based on what they did in sim. So module 3 is a case study analysis on ethical and legal issues. And then module 4 is clinical decision-making scenario, where they work on critical thinking and clinical judgment skills in the creation of a care plan based on a clinical scenario. So you provide them the care plan and they come up with the scenario. And then finally, a cultural competence project. And this is going to be a presentation, 10 to 15 slides in length, that asks them to actually present. So that's something they can't do with AI, is present in their place. So those are our assignments. So now we need to develop our grading rubric. And so now with another prompt, now that we have our assignments, we can develop the rubric. So what I've done here is we will now develop a grading rubric for each assignment. The rubric should have 3 grading categories: no points, half points, and full points. The rubric will also have one topic for APA formatting that's worth 5 points for the total 100-point grade. Generate a grading rubric that contains a title, a short description for each title, and a short description for what's required for full, half, and no points for each item. Provide this to me in a table format with columns for the title and the points categories. So whenever I generate my rubrics, I like to have it in a table because I add that into my assignments. So you'll see here, and this is going to jump in a moment, that it's given me a table here with content, reflection, organization, research, and APA formats, APA formatting with no points. Let me scroll back up here. No points, half points, full points, with a description of what's required for full points, half points, and no points for each. So you can go in and use this. You can change it, update it so that it makes it more useful. But again, this is a place to start. So now we have full rubrics for all of our modules: module 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then, so if you look on module 2, which was a simulation-based, it has performance. The student did not participate in the simulation or performed poorly. The student participated in the simulation but demonstrated limited skills. The student participated in the simulation and demonstrated strong foundational nursing skills. So you can go in and target each one of these with a follow-up prompt that says, for module 2 on the simulation-based skills assessment, I want to score on these specific items. So if you don't like what it's come up with, you can say, I want to score on these items, fill out what's required for no points, half points, and full points, and you can provide as much detail on those requirements as you need to. You can also use this as a starting point and then manipulate it directly in Canvas if you'd like. So we can continue working with this for our rubrics. Now, we have developed all of our modules. So we developed our course description, our objectives for the course, all 5 of our modules, our content for the modules, the assignments, the grading rubrics. So now we want to move into the overall course schedule that aligns with the academic calendar, which ensures the assignments are spaced appropriately and also accounts for holidays. So let's go look at this. I've got a pretty long prompt here that I'm going to show you. And again, I'll share all these prompts with you. So now that we have the course built out, let's create a topical outline for fall of 2025. The topical outline should contain the course number, which we're going to call NUR 100, the title of the course, the title of the document, which is topical outline and course schedule, and a table containing columns for this module, start date for the module, and the topic for the module. So the topic column will contain the module, let me scroll up a little bit, the module title, the assignment title, and the due date, always by 11:59 p.m. Central on the due date. The fall calendar can be found at this link. And then the schedule for the class, schedule the class taking into account the first and last days of the semester and any holiday time where there are no classes. So with that information, let's send that to the AI and see what it comes up with. And so as it's processing, it's going to go find the UAB fall calendar. And now it's going to generate our topical outline. So I immediately see there's something wrong with the end here. So it looks like it's ending the course a little too early. So we start off here with the topic outline and course schedule. There's the columns that we asked for. Module 1 starts on August 25th. Introduction to Nursing and Healthcare Systems with the assignment, which is the reflective essay. And then there's the due date for that assignment. So we start off in August. We have an assignment due in September. And then Module 2 has a start date, the title, and the assignment. And so we can manipulate these because this ends a little early on October 21st. The last assignment is due on November 3rd. And then the last day of our class is on December 5th. So we do need to manipulate this a little more. We can go back and tell the AI, hey, it looks like the course has ended earlier. Let's adjust the topical outline and course schedule to accommodate the full range of dates. And so then it will add more dates or more time to the individual modules so that it accounts for the missing time. So remember, this is where AI is not perfect. It will give you something, but then it's up to us to review what it's done and then make any adjustments as necessary before we publish this out. Okay. So within the last 20 minutes or so, we have created a new course from start to finish. We started off with the course title and description and ended up with the assignments, the grading rubrics, and the topical outline for the course. So this gives us a good foundation so that we can start creating our course and then manipulating it so that it addresses exactly the objectives we're trying to address. So just like that, it's built. So we've used AI to essentially enhance our efficiency, but not replace our expertise. So what we did today, though, is just the beginning. And remember, AI is a tool, and like any tool, its value depends on how we use it. The goal isn't to automate education, but to elevate it. We can use it to create richer and more engaging learning experiences. So if you found this helpful, please let us know. Let us know if there are other content topics you'd like to hear about. What AI-powered teaching tools are you excited to explore? So let's keep the conversation going. Reach out if you have any questions. So for now, thank you for your time. I hope you found this useful.